You join me in the middle of absolutely nowhere for today's video. Today's topic is about the RCF, and in particular vehicles that are imperfect but are perfect because of that. I've owned the RCF for a long time now. This is probably the car that I've owned the longest now. Not too sure on that, someone will have to fact check it, but it's a car that I've owned and plan to own for at least the longest time. And there's a few reasons as to why that's the case. I think we should probably start with the two characteristics of this vehicle that make it so imperfectly perfect. And we're back to normal driving mode. This is my RCF. It is two types of beast. It is absolutely mental. It wants to kill you. It's almost like the Mercedes effect, in where it's loud, it's shouty, it doesn't listen to you. Come on, give me command. No. There's a lot of factors that play into the whole double characteristic thing. It's bipolar in a way. Generally the type of person to buy a Lexus is an old boy, right? Let's be real, it's mostly old people, and that's unfortunate for the brand, obviously, but in the same case, it's good because comfort, luxury, it's all kind of thought of. The seats are absolutely to die for. They are so comfortable on long journeys, and that's what you want with a car like this. It is generally a Grand Tourer-esque car, and from what I've experienced. And again, when you put your foot down, it is the complete opposite animal. It holds its own almost as if it's all-wheel drive sometimes, which is unbelievable, but I think the main thing would probably be due to the weight of the vehicle. But from personal experience, it doesn't feel that heavy. Like, driving the car, you don't feel the weight. It's not as if it's on my back. I'm not carrying it along, I'm not pulling it along, and sure, generally if a car starts to go through corners, tight corners, at high speed, that's where you're going to find the effects, and that's genuinely true. That is something that happens, but on country roads, on amazing town drives late at night, it's perfect. I've never had an issue. But this is about perfectly imperfect cars. What makes this imperfect? If it drives super well on the road, if it's the most comfortable car you've ever driven, if it's absolutely blitzing fast, why is it imperfect? You can't fold the back seats down, so it's not very practical. You slide around in the seat because it's designed for Americans. It doesn't have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto or any of those fancy gizmos. What I'm stuck with is Bluetooth that fails and disconnects a lot of the time, and to where I have to reset the car for it to work properly. It's ginormous on UK roads. It is not made for UK regulation primarily. It is made for American roads, and that is very clear. It'll barely fit in a single garage. If it does fit in a garage, you won't get it out. You have to get double. There's many roads in the UK that I've had to just give up on. I've decided, nope, not for me. I can't take it in multi-story car parks. I have to find, oh my God, it's even small here. I downright refuse multi-story car parks. It has to be a flat level car park, which means I can't take it everywhere because I'll end up with nowhere to park. Or I spend a while looking for places to park because, you know. There's something about those quirks that I quite like. I had an Audi RS4, for those that don't know. And that RS4, it was a fantastic car to drive. It handled amazingly. It was a manual for one. This is another reason I would like this to be manual. But that car, for me, was just so clinical and everything was right. I don't want to say everything was right, but a lot was right, and that kind of put me off a little bit, which was weird at the time, and it didn't make any sense. And it's the car I've owned for the least time before I gave it away and got this. I'm a car guy. I'm always looking for what potentially could replace this car. I've looked at Jags, I've looked at GTRs, I've looked at, oh God, I can't even think of the list, but the list goes on for a very long time. Nothing in my head from what I've driven and experienced has made me go, I want it more than this. The only thing that I could ever think of that would replace this in my head is an SLS. It's a V8. What cars nowadays, this class, have a V8? It's just a totally different world. The displacement gives you so much constant, instant power, and I say that all the time, but it is so, so true. This car and driving GTRs, I've been very fortunate to be able to drive, you know, other different types of vehicles. I've driven Audi R8s. It's taught me that I don't want perfect cars. To me, the perfect car collection would be complete all-wheel drive everything. It's safe, it's stable, it can drive in the horrible conditions, in the wet we always get, it's going to hold on its own. But I don't want that. This car has taught me that it's okay to be stupid, but at the same time, I don't want to put this in a bad light and say it can't drive in the snow, because of all of my vehicles, this is the one I'm going to be driving most in the snow. I'm going to get rid of the X5. It's a jack of all trades, but at the same time, doesn't mean it's brilliant at all of them, and I weirdly like that. Is it because we want it to be different? Is it because we want it to be unique? It's hard to say exactly why. I guess it depends on the person to person. I mean, some people may like the idea of being part of a club, or at the same time, people might like being part of an exclusive club. If I see an RCF on the road, I get majorly excited. If I see a Skyline on the road, I get majorly excited. If I see a Fiesta ST on the road, I don't really get excited. But as said, it's each to their own. There's no one set answer for this, but I think for me, it's the exclusivity of it. You don't see any of these on the road. Never mind in the United Kingdom. So basically, don't buy one. But I think we as car guys, the thing we like the most is character. And a lot of modern cars are stepping away from that. You'll be in a modern car, say test drive it or whatever, but the characteristic of a lot of cars has gone for the fact of safety. They want every car to be as safe as possible and qualify with so many regulations and blah, blah, blah. But fun is one of the main reasons we buy a car. Stupidness sometimes is the reason we buy a car. But I guess it's maybe anti-establishment, maybe it's dirty, gritty, racer, street racer. Everyone's answer is going to be different, but I think ultimately, at least for me and for the majority, I think, we want character, and character is definitely hard to come by nowadays, but it oozes off of the RCF, and that's probably why I'll keep hold of this for a very long time. Downshift! Now, so I hope that gives you an idea, a little bit more of an idea at least, as to why I'm obsessed with this thing, and I don't think I'll ever be able to get rid of it. If I do, it'll be for something equally as unique. Let me know down in the comments of your perfectly imperfect cars. Tweet me them. Find my link down below in the description as always. But if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to smash like, subscribe if you are new, and welcome to the new channel. Peace.